Okay. I won't.
I'm looking out. I'm looking out for you right here.
Yeah, no, I won't. Then I won't. But potentially some stuff.
No, you can get excited. I mean, I want you to get excited. And you could say big news for TSU men's basketball.
It'll be
got a huge commit. Like you could say that.
Anyway, so that's what I got going on, and I forgot that he made his date today when we decided to do this. But that's what's going on right now. So I'm going to be looking down on my phone. There's a lot of that.
Well, no worries. How's everything been going?
Good, dude. Good. It's straight.
Went with the plain white tee today.
No, it's not a plain white tee. Actually, look at this. See this?
Oh, wow.
See what that says?
Fear of a broken planet.
Yeah, I ordered this back in June, and I literally just got it today, like yesterday.
Who made that tee?
Dude, you know that white hoodie that I always wear with a blue G on it that's got ceilings on the background that I had on that one day? Okay. No. Dude, I know that makes some clothes and stuff. He does some good work. His name Glass Ceilings is the company. So shout out to Glass Ceilings, man.
Gotcha. Cool. How's teaching been going? That's the real question we can ask. How has that been going? Are you still employed as a teacher?
I haven't. Well, I mean, I haven't done a ton of teaching per se. It's a lot of, hey, we got some basketballs here, got the goals up. If you play some pickup one-on-one, I played gotcha with them one day, but not a ton of learning, instructing. I guess is the word I'm looking for. Not a ton of instruct. I actually canceled class yesterday. We had a 6 a.m. workout, and I was like, yeah, class is up. No class today.
Because when is class usually?
Like 12:45, and I was.
You canceled it.
Yeah,
just because you had a 6:15 class.
Yeah, I canceled that thing. I was like, no class today. And it's perfect because our head manager Tyler is in the class.
Oh my goodness!
Hey, remember Weldon? Did I tell you this? Remember Weldon?
Yeah, Darlington.
His younger brother Kenyon is in the class too.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's up?
That's interesting. Nothing much. I got the second dose of the COVID vaccine.
Oh, did you? How do you feel?
I'm a little tired today.
A little tired?
Yeah. I don't feel terrible, but I feel weird. But I'm fine,
Are you a flu shot guy? Do you get the flu shot too?
No.
Okay. All right.
Not really. I mean, I will occasionally, but
did you ever have COVID?
I don't know. Honestly, this is why I think I had COVID back in August, is because I feel the exact same way as I did back in August. I'm talking about last August. So to me, that would lead me to believe that I might have had COVID.
Dude, we've all had it, dog.
It was just it was a weird feeling then, and it's a weird feeling now. And it's not like I'm sick. It's just I feel a little weird.
Yeah. I see that.
But anyway, anywho, basketball is going well. It's been good. Just trying to get everybody healthy. But
yeah,
our guys are doing well.
Dude, that's the main thing, man. I mean, that's the main thing. It's like get everybody healthy.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that the challenge that every team faces?
Yeah,
because you're going to have probably 1 or 2 injuries a year. But it's
you have to go ahead and just sign up. Yeah, I mean, you have to mark that down.
So it's really just who's getting injured and how serious is this injury?
Yep.
And how can we take care of it, and how can we protect our student athletes as well? But without further ado, welcome into the Mind of Coach podcast. This is episode 53, Asa. Daryl Dawkins?
I feel like Daryl Dawkins I feel like we looked him up a little bit ago. Let me see real quick.
Is Artis Gilmore, was he 53?
Ooh, that's a good one, Nate. That's a really good one. Daryl Dawkins was 53, yes. Good.
Was he 53 his entire career, though?
I can't say for his entire career, but I'm seeing 6 pictures, and 5 of them he has 53 on.
Well, there you go. So 53.
Who was the other one you asked?
Artis Gilmore.
Artis Gilmore. Hey, we played in his gym.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Artis Gilmore was 50. Oh, Nate.
Okay, hey, the last one I'm going to say, and I can't remember his name, Who was buddy from Coach Carter? The big dude?
Oh, what
The
Ty
one that-
Crane, wasn't it?
No. He played against Ty Crane.
Oh, I don't remember.
He played on Coach Carter's team. I forget if he was number 53. I want to say he was 53. But anyway, shout out to him.
Hey, Nathan.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you have one? Do you have a 53 that I just missed?
I don't have a 53. I don't. I'm coming up empty. I got to get back on my game. I'm off my game as of late, but you are on it.
Lucky.
As you should be, because you love to get the episodes wrong.
So maybe I'm doing some prep on the front end. Maybe I'm doing some prep. But episode 53, Asa, you said you're doing well. You said you're teaching the heck out of that class. Sounds like everything's good. Hopefully we get some good news in the next 30 minutes for the Tennessee State men's basketball team. We can't disclose any further information, but hopefully good news. Man, wow, episode 53. And I don't know, Asa, what do you have to get off your chest?
I mean, the Titans, dude. The Titans.
Oh man!
I hope it was a wake up call. That's what I've been telling myself all week. I hope it was a wake up call because it was an awful performance. They couldn't do anything. Taylor Lewan, God bless his soul, he tears ACL. He comes back. I feel his pain on that one, but good. And we made. Go ahead and give Chandler Jones, wasn't that his name? Go ahead and give him Defensive Player of the Year. We made him looking like a Hall of Famer instantly. He did anything he wanted to. He got to the quarterback in the backfield all the time. Just it was like, hey, Olay defense, just go ahead. He was in the backfield all the time. So Titans, dude, that's it. It was just upsetting first weekend. Anticlimactic performance.
I think the biggest loss the Titans had was Jack Conklin. And it showed brutally. And we don't have Arthur Smith anymore, do we?
Yeah, I wish we still had Arthur. I think he's in Atlanta now. I wish we had Arthur
Smith. And do I still wish we had him? Sure. But, dude, Jack Conklin, like the fact that we can't even run the ball right now, we have Derrick Henry. We have the biggest, strongest, fastest back in the NFL. And you're telling me he has 9 yards? It just – he ended up with 50-something, but 9 yards in the first half,
Also, Derrick Henry is due for a back to reality year, though. I'll say that.
Maybe, but I also think he's that dominant of a back. However,
I do too, but he's a running back at the end of the day.
Sure, but I don't think you can be a good offensive football player. I truly mean this. In the NFL, if you don't have a good line, you can in high school. You can be just that much more talented. But when all the talent's pretty dang equal, you got to have some blocking, and it's showing right now. And I'm going to be honest, Julio Jones didn't look impressive. He dropped 3 balls. Yeah,
the Julio thing.
But he'll get better. His timing should get better throughout the year, but little discouraging. But I will say this: I think the Cardinals are the real deal.
I was about to say, everybody was like, I think so. I think the Cardinals are going to be good. They're a playoff team, easy, right?
I think. Oh yeah, I think because who's in their division?
I'm not good with divisions in any sport.
Are they in the Raiders division? Because they're in our side, right?
Is that the NFC West?
Yes.
I think it's the NFC West. Maybe.
I could be wrong. I could be way off.
Well, that's okay.
But anyway, so who do we have this weekend?
Seattle, I believe, right?
Oh gosh, so it's not getting easier.
I didn't watch this. I didn't pay attention to Seattle on Sunday. How'd they look?
They have Russell Wilson.
Well, I know that, but and they do it. Yeah, they have DK Metcalf. Which, by the way, how did DK Metcalf not get drafted number 1?
Number 1 in the whole thing?
Yeah, the dude literally just runs a straight route and can get out. Yeah, DK Metcalf is awesome. Give me DK Metcalf.
Okay. Yeah, so they are in the NFC West, Asa.
I was okay.
Which is the Rams, 49ers, Cardinals, Seahawks. And all 4 of them are 1-0 right now.
Ooh, that's a good division. That's a really good
division. It is. And especially with Matt Stafford.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
And the 49ers didn't look too bad either, but the Seahawks are that's a tough division. I wouldn't want to be in that division. So glad we're in our division.
Yeah. Well,
however, the Texans are in first place.
What? How is this? We'll talk about Deshaun.
Yeah, we got.
Yeah. What?
We got to talk about basketball. We got to talk about basketball. Let me
We gotta
see
get the basketball net. We got a good guest for us today.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just talk to him.
Manny, what's going on, man?
Man, doing great, brother. How about yourself?
I am good, man. I'm good. I'm alive and kicking, dog. I'm alive and kicking. Good to talk to you, man. Good to finally get you on here.
Hey, so Mike.
Man,
Mike.
pleasure, man. Pleasure. I know we've all been tied up a little bit, but, glad we can all connect here.
Cool, man. Hey, well, I'll tell you what. I guess we'll go ahead and get into it, man. We've been waiting a long time. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get to talking, man. We got a lot to talk about. We have Coach Manny Dosanjh on the show with us today. He is the current graduate assistant at Michigan State. Before that, he was at Orangeville Prep. And where did you play?
So first I was at Delta College, small school in Michigan, and from there I joined Oral Roberts University.
Cool, man.
Awesome.
Well, hey, Manny, we appreciate you taking time out of your day to come on the show with us, man. How you doing? You doing all right?
Doing great, guys. I can't complain. And first and foremost, I appreciate you guys having me. Could have went with a lot of other guests that are more qualified and probably a better story, but I appreciate you guys.
No way.
Well, hey, I'll tell you what. I know you and I have talked a lot over the last few months. Talk to me about kind of what's been going on with you, and just update us. What's going on with you, man?
Yeah, I think personally the biggest thing that's been going on is I got married 2.5 weeks ago.
Wow! Congratulations. Join the team. Team.
Exactly. Exactly. And so 7 years later, and
wow,
it feels like you plan for a couple of years and it just goes by, But just such an exciting to take that next step and enter a new chapter, So that was awesome. Basketball wise, an incredible summer. Finally, with Michigan State. Last year was just so funky with COVID, and we had restrictions where we couldn't play 5-on-5, and we couldn't have more than 8 guys on the floor. So it was awesome just to have a full summer with Michigan State. And
I've been saying that same thing, man. So I'm going on year 3, but like it's my first kind of full season. Like I haven't had a summer yet at all. So I feel what you're saying.
Yeah, and they're so valuable, And Nathan, I know as a player, as a former player yourself, like summer, there's so much value to it. Building that team camaraderie and getting that work in, and just the sweat equity, man. You can't really replace it.
Yeah, 100%. Totally agree with you. All right, I got to ask you a question. I'm sorry to go off a little bit. So were you in the gym this past week when they had all those guys in there?
I was. Absolutely incredible.
Man, you got to tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Before you go, Manny, Spencer, Nate, Spencer and Jamal were up there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you meet Spencer and Jamal? Jamal was in the gym today. I just asked him.
Yeah, they were the trainers, right?
Yes, yeah. They're Nashville dudes. I've known them forever.
Nashville guys. I know exactly what you're talking about. And those guys are tied in with Travis Walton, who played at Michigan State and put together the whole deal from the basketball side. But it was truly like after each day, I'd go to one of our assistants, Dwayne Stevens. I'd be like, man, like this is incredible, And if I felt this way as a second-year person in the program, I can't imagine how you guys feel. You recruited these guys when they were kids. They wore the jersey for you guys. Now they're playing pro. For them to come back, we had every pro that has done anything significant was back in the gym. It was a true brotherhood. I mean, just wisdom, love, hard work, stories, late nights, early mornings. So it was all led by Draymond, of course, who's kind of been the face of the program recently. And it was just, you can't really put words to it, and just to be able to witness it, it was just truly remarkable. Something I'll probably remember for the rest of my life.
Dude, that's awesome. All right. So specifically, I hate, you don't have to tell me everything, but did they get into drills? Were they doing drills? Was it just pickup? Like what was their like attack on the weekend?
Yeah, so it's both. So Travis and his group of trainers that he selected from all over North America. We had guys from California, Ohio, Tennessee, just a top crop of the basketball trainers that Travis had a relationship with. He invited.
Gotcha.
So there's 12 of them that came down, and 1:45 every day was a 45-minute skill session led by them. So we opened up. Michigan State setup is the women's court is here, the men's court is here, and if you take the wall out, you pretty much have 2 full gyms.
Gotcha.
So we had the entire 4 rims going with the top trainers in North America. Michigan State NBA guys, Michigan State current guys, all just getting skill work in 45 minutes, and then there'd be a little break and go right into pickup. So we'd have a loser's court and a winner's court, and you have NBA guys mixed in with our college guys, and you had a winning court, and it was just pure basketball, So skill session followed by open gym. And after that, we have a break where we get dinner. They go back to their hotels. Our guys go back to their apartments. And then we come back at 8 p.m. for strictly a shooting session led by Travis and his trainers. So they're pretty much doing a 3-a-day.
Wow.
But the NBA guys loved it because, training camp is now approaching for them. Mm-hmm. So this is a perfect way for them to stay in shape while getting work in and coming back to pour into our guys.
Yeah. Okay, last question before Asa gets into it, because I'm still interested in this.
Yeah.
Okay, so how intense were the pickup games? How intense? Because, certain times you would think that maybe NBA players are more casual. When I'm just thinking Draymond, I can't happen to think, but it has to be intense. But also, is it moving the ball in pickup, or is it more just isolation? Like, what are they really working on when they're in pickup? Go ahead, Ace.
Manny, before you answer that, real quick, I add on to that answer. How did those teams get picked? Because I'm curious. How did y'all pick teams?
Yeah, so picking a team, the core focus was simple. Mix the NBA guys with our college guys.
Okay.
It was that simple. To have a mixture of, we wanted former guys with our current guys. Mm-hmm. And so at teams and then so one day we had a team of just the pro guys and our guys.
Okay.
And so the pros lost one game right from the jump, and they didn't lose the rest of the week. That was their one loss. The team was like Draymond, Travis Trice, Gary Harris, Adrian Payne, and so from that, so that's how the teams were picked. And so in terms of the style, the pickup, it was simply to win. And it was my 5 versus your 5. Forget the relationship, forget that you wore the same jersey. They were trying to win. It was Draymond talking shit to everybody. It was our players talking shit back as if they were almost nobodies. And that's why the excitement around the pickup game was always so high every day, because it wasn't just an all-star game. Mm-hmm. They were there to get better. They were there to sweat, but they were there to win. Mm-hmm. And we kept track of the wins and losses as well.
That's awesome.
And so it was amazing because we had former managers back and just alumni who were part of the program. And, so everybody's around the gym watching, and the objective was to win and nothing else.
That's phenomenal. That's so awesome.
All right,
I think it's just how a coach would probably like it too, knowing coach.
Yeah.
So I was going to wait till later to ask you, but kind of talk to us about just being at a place like Michigan State. You mentioned brotherhood, players coming back on campus. Obviously, Izzo's been there forever. I heard a stat one time, a while back, where if you played 4 years at Michigan State, you went to a Final Four. Yeah. It was 12 to 14 plus years or something. That was the stat. Just what's it like to be at a place like Michigan State?
Yeah, you know what Ace said? It's that simple. They're standard at Michigan State, and people talk about culture, and, culture gets thrown around a lot these days. They're just standard at Michigan State. And so each day, whether you're a manager, you're a GA, you're a video guy, an assistant, you feel a sense of responsibility when you walk into that gym, and it's real. And you feel it every single day because it starts from Coach Izzo, and Coach Izzo has been that way for 30 plus years. And so because there's such a standard set, you feel a responsibility to make sure that whatever your responsibility is, that you're upholding it for each and every day.
Yep.
And that's what I think is the biggest thing on Michigan State, is just truly upholding that. And it starts with Coach Izzo because, he shows up every single day, and he has a saying that, some guys like the game, some guys love the game, and some guys live the game. Coach Izzo's had that saying for years. And seeing Coach Izzo work every day, he lives the game. Mm. And so because that's how it is at the top, the people under him, they have no other choice.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest things. You learn how to really live the game, being at Michigan State. And I think that's what's ultimately led them to the success they've had.
Manny,
that's awesome.
How does Tom Ezzo set the standard?
Well, I think first and foremost, it starts with his relationship with his players. The amount of time that he spends with those guys off the floor. I think that's the key right there. Driving around the city, time in their apartment, going out to eat, meeting them for film sessions, having them stop by before tutors. Coach Izzo invests so much time in these guys off the floor where, I think that's something that can get lost with his accolades and think that's just a well-oiled running machine at this point, but he invests so much time with those guys. And I think the standard gets set because at the end of the day, the players are the guys that go out and make the baskets. It's always going to be players. Players is what makes great coaches. Sure. But the reason why, of course, they're talented, which is why they get to Michigan State, but the reason they produce the way they do, the reason why they're proud to wear Michigan State across their chest, the reason why they come back after every year is because of that relationship that Coach Izzo establishes with them. And he does it every single day, late nights, early mornings, and I think that's what's been the separator, in my opinion, for this program.
Yeah,
that's all. Because now that I'm talking to you and I think about, I noticed that standard now that you talk about it and you put it that way. I mean, there's there's clearly that standard there because of the longevity that Izzo and his program has been able to sustain is not unmatched, but it's rare, right? It's rare. So all right,
hold up, Asa. One more thing is that I just love the whole relationships portion that you just hit on, and I hate how people from the outside try to make Tom Ezzo to be out this guy that's just like, he's getting onto his players. It's like, no, yeah, because he loves them. That's what you do when you really love and care about somebody is you're going to hold them accountable because nobody is taking videos of him like doing all that stuff you're talking about,
Right.
He's like truly loving on the guys.
No doubt. And I think the reason why he's even able to coach them that way is because of that relationship.
Yeah.
And I'll get real specific, like a couple years ago was an incident with Aaron Henry, where Coach Izzo, had the kind of that people caught that tough coaching deal. And then last year with Gabe Brown, both of those guys stayed in the program. One is now on his way to the NBA, and one is returning back as one of our captains. And so it's just like people made the notion of tough coaching and, just whatever they were trying to make out of it. I mean, who knows? But the truth is, those guys, one is already headed towards success, and the other ones are turning to the team captain.
Yeah.
And so that just goes to show, what that relationship is truly about.
Yeah.
And I think if it was any other way, with social media these days and kids having such a strong voice, people would hear the true story. But there is no story. The story is that it's tough coaching, it's tough love, but it's all for the betterment of the player and the player only. And I think Coach Izzo and his relationship speak for itself in that regard.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Well, speaking of stories, all right, talk to us about your story of getting to Michigan State.
Man, so story to Michigan State. First and foremost, Ace and Nathan, I couldn't plan this at all. This is simply, God's grace. And I don't take the credit for it. There's one position as a GA every single year. I didn't play at Michigan State. I wasn't a student manager. My mom or dad did not have any ties to the program. So it was truly God's grace, and I don't take that for granted. But it all started, when I was a prep school coach at Orangeville. We had a player get recruited to a university, Ball State University, Indiana. And long story short, me and the assistant coach there became very tight, and they invited me out to a practice to come spend a couple of days with them. And so my first time, which is years ago now, I drove down Indiana, and then coach, his name is Coach Ben Botts. He said, "You know what, man? On your way here, you might as well stop by Michigan State. You're going to go by it anyways. And I know one of the coaches there. I'm going to hook it up. You go watch practice." And at that time, I was like, man, Michigan State, so when you're a young coach, you hear Michigan State, you're like, man, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Sure. And that's kind of how it started, and so I think about 4 years ago, I attended my first Michigan State practice. And, I share this story because it's always funny to me. I remember sitting in the parking lot in front of Michigan State when I got there, and I called my fiance, who's now my wife. And I said, "Hey, love, I'm here, but this isn't a good idea." I see the Magic Johnson statue outside. I see the big building. I see Coach Izzo's, name everywhere. I said, man, like, I'm just going to go disrupt what they're doing. Like, I'm just going to come home, and she's like, no, you're there now. You got to go in. So long story short, went inside, and, from that day forward is how that relationship really started, and what makes Coach Izzo great, and, I know we could talk about this for days, is just the way he makes everybody feel valued. Whoever walks into his facility, leaves feeling like they're a part of it, and that's one gift that, Coach Izzo truly has, from whether you're a part of the program, whether you're not, whether you like basketball or you don't, whether you know the rules or you don't. And so that's how Coach Izzo made me feel that day, and from that day forward, Coach Izzo always made me feel so just so welcomed into the program. I felt like I had a ticket to that program, and from there, I was able to establish just genuine relationships with the assistant coaches. Anytime I would have an opportunity from my job at Orangeville, I'd spend my days coming to practice, and just over a course of time, was able to develop a relationship and ended up being a fit for both sides years later.
Wow. Man. That's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, that's when you knew you had the one, right?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time.
If you hadn't told me to stay, I don't know if we would have been together right now.
Oh, I was ready to go, man. I kid you not, man. I was like, man, I'm good, man. I don't want to disrupt nothing. I don't want to bother Coach. Like, yeah. So,
hey, so what are you paying attention to when you're going to these practices, to these Michigan State practices?
Yeah, first and foremost, so at the time when I was a prep school coach, my only objective was, what can I take from these practices to prepare my guys better for college? That's exactly what I was focused on. I was looking at the drills. I was looking at the way the guys get their shots. I was looking at the things that these college coaches valued. And so I made those notes, and I simply bring it back to prepare our guys better for a next step, because our motto from Orangeville wasn't that we didn't want our guys just to get a scholarship. We want them to produce when they get there. And so it was all about just making myself better for my current players, and then on top of that, any new drills that I learned, any new relationships I was able to make, that was all kind of a bonus, and so I think my only objective was just to kind of better my players back at Orangeville, really.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. So does Orangeville have a post-grad team, or is it just it's a prep school that's high school?
Yep, prep school is a high school.
Okay, all right. So, so I actually went to a post-grad school, a prep school, Hargrave Military.
Oh yeah,
Academy.
Yeah, we played Hargrave. Mm-hmm.
So, kind of talk about just prep schools in general and what they provide and what they do, and just what it's like working at one. And because Thon Maker, I don't know if you weren't there with him, correct?
Yeah, I wasn't there with him, but he did come out.
Yeah. These high-profile players. Just kind of talk to us about Orangeville prep and the whole prep school scene and what goes, the ins and outs of it.
Yeah, Orangeville in particular has been Canada's kind of most dominant program. There's over 50 guys have signed Division I. In my 2 years, 16 guys moved on to the D1 level.
Wow.
Jamal Murray, Thon Maker, Lou Gensdor, our couple of alumni.
I forgot Jamal went there. I forgot that.
Yep, Jamal was one of the first guys. He's part of the first recruiting class that she allowed Orangeville to really take off. But the prep school stuff, the prep school stuff is tricky. You hear a lot of horror prep school stories.
A lot of them. We talked about it. Like did you see the football team?
Yeah. I mean, the horror. I think the horror prep school stories outweigh the good ones. But the ones that are good are very good. And the reason why I say that is because they do provide a platform for student athletes to, move on to the next level. But I think one of the most underrated aspects of going to a really good prep program like a Orangeville, like a Hargrave, for example, is the fact that the coaches coaching these programs also have aspirations most of the time to move on themselves.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, you're putting your best foot forward every day to prepare these guys for that next level, because you're not just there. You're not making a living, getting paid at the prep school level. And so with that being said, you still some people have a great setup where they teach or whatever, but guys that have full-time prep school coaching jobs, they are temporary 2 to 4 year type of plans.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think with that being said, players are around coaches that really care about their craft. They're around coaches that really care. And they're around coaches that are invested. And then other than that, I think just the opportunity to be around college before college. Like Orangeville, one of the most things that took a lot of pride in when I was at the prep school level is that college coaches would come in and they would say, like, there's not much difference in our practice from what they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome.
And so hearing that was one of the best compliments we can get, because the prep school kind of goal is simply to prepare the student athletes.
Yeah.
And so I think finding a good prep program has a lot of benefits to it. And it's very important that athletes and their parents visit first. Yep. We wouldn't even take a guy if he didn't visit. We want him to come see us, come see what we're about. Bring your family, bring whoever you like. And so I think if families take visits and go to a prep program that's produced players in the past, it can be a win-win situation for everybody involved.
Man,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and you mentioned, yeah, I agree. And you mentioned something a second ago about, when people go to prep schools, like it's a stepping stone for players, right? Like that's what people say. But it also is for coaches as well. Like you mentioned, and you said some great things about if you're at a prep school, like you really care about the craft and the kid and all that. I mean, perfect example, Kevin Keats was at Hargrave, and 6 years later, he's the head coach at NC State. A.W. Hamilton, who was my coach at Hargrave, he was my coach at Hargrave. 4 years later, he's the head coach at Eastern Kentucky, right? Like or 5, whatever in a quick amount of time. And so it can provide the same thing it can for players that it does for. It can provide the same thing for coaches that it does for players. And I think that's a really cool thing about prep school.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, some of the coaches that we faced, looking back, a lot of those coaches are now in full-time Division I, Division II junior college roles, so I think having your student athletes around those caliber of coaches early on, I think can only benefit them. So.
For sure.
Well, dude, all right, how you feeling about this upcoming year?
I feel really good about it, Asa. I truly do. I think it goes back to the summers. Summers at Michigan State have always been highly valued because guys come back and, guys put a lot of pickup. But I feel really good about it just because of that one notion alone. I think guys got a chance to now kind of build more team camaraderie. Mm-hmm. Our roster does look a little different, and so I think – but then again, it's the Big Ten's going to be a gauntlet again this year. So you never really know.
Which it always is.
And I think a lot of us feel good this time of the year, and you never really know what your team is about until you kind of hit that rock.
Yeah.
And I think that goes for all levels, for all sports, So you just hope for the best and control what you can, and find out real soon in 56 days when we tip off against Kansas.
Yep.
Oh, man. Yeah. Okay, so going back just a second, you were talking about Orangeville. So tell me a little bit about your transition from high school to college. You coaching both. How was it difficult? Was it hard? Because, I mean, you went probably from controlling every single little bit about the team to maybe not doing as much. So how has that adjustment been for you?
Yeah, I think, Nathan, by the grace of God, again, I was so fortunate to get my first coaching opportunity at Orangeville Prep.
Mm-hmm.
A person that I knew while growing up who runs the Orangeville Prep, Tony McIntyre, served as a mentor for me. And, just by the grace of God, an opportunity came at the perfect time when I was looking to step in. And, he gave me a lot of responsibility from day one.
Really?
But I think what really helped me was, again, the Orangeville brand was already built.
Mm-hmm.
We were already a pipeline for Division I talent. Coaches came through our doors, whenever they were allowed to. And so I got really fortunate in the case that in my 2 years, like I said, I coached 16 guys that moved on to Division I level.
Yeah.
And so I already was able to get that experience working with Division I athletes before I got to Michigan State. And that to me was just the biggest blessing. I didn't plan that myself, and so because I had that experience, and then I was able to play in college as well, combining the two made my transition to Michigan State fairly easy in that regard. I was very comfortable on the court because for 2 years I had a whistle around my neck. You know, I was stopping stuff. I was running stuff. You know, Coach Tony McIntyre, who's still there now, gave me a lot of responsibility and freedom. Mm-hmm. And so one of the other perks of, you know, coaching at the prep level is you find your coaching voice. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I found out. That's something that I had found before I got to Michigan State, you know, because I was already a coach at the high school, prep school level for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Had I not had that, I think the transition would have been much harder. Mm-hmm. But on the court stuff made it really easy because of my prep background.
It's hard for young coaches to find their coaching voice, and I'm glad you pointed it out like that, because I think that is a big thing for in coaching development, and you know, developing yourself as a coach is trying to find and where your voice fits in.
No doubt.
You know, delivering whatever message you need to your players.
Yeah, no doubt, and I think it's one of those deals, Asa, where I was, you know, like I used to kind of be nerdy with this stuff. You know, I would read and I would listen. And one of the things that I was fortunate to learn early on is that, you know, man, if you want to coach, go coach.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, whether that's middle school, whether that's high school, whether that's club basketball, whether you train like your nieces and nephews, if you want to coach, go coach. You know, because those, just like our players get reps, you get reps.
Exactly.
You know? And without those reps, you're never really able to find your coaching voice. You know, and that was one of the most significant things I was able to learn early on. And so I think when you're given the freedom to have a whistle around your neck or be on the floor, you know, each day you just kind of get better and better. You know, it's one of those things where you could read about coaching, but until you actually do it in between those lines, there's nothing that's going to replicate it.
That's perfect, man, because that's the case with everything, right? I mean, it is. You need reps and to build confidence and you know, kind of and figure it out. That's perfect, man. That's absolutely perfect. Well, hey, I'll tell you what. Towards the end of the show, we like to have a little fun and do some rapid fire questions. You mind doing some rapid fire with us?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Okay. Last technical. You ever got one?
I've never gotten a technical myself.
No? Did you ever get one as a player?
Never got one as a player either.
Yeah.
You know, but I did see both of my bosses get one. Coach Ezzo has sure gotten his technicals.
Yeah.
You know, I forgot what game it was, but we were on the road. And you know, Coach Ezzo was caught saying something that maybe he shouldn't have, the referees didn't like, which is fine. And then before that, the prep school level, just that prep school stuff gets heated, man. You know, our top prep, you're talking about. You know, there's a certain level of pride that comes with it, and former players that have come through the doors, and you know, now they're looking back and supporting from the NBA team. So, have been around technicals, but have not gotten my first technical yet.
Yeah. So so obviously you haven't been kicked out of a game, right?
Not yet, and hopefully it stays that way. So.
All right. Have you ever dunked a basketball on a 10-foot rim?
Man, I have not, man. I was not genetically gifted in that regard. You know, I stand at about 6'1", and I'm sure my reach is probably less than that. But I think I was able to play college strictly based off of skill and nothing else. But I was the guy with either you're gonna shoot that long tray ball or you're gonna go for a fancy layup, you know, and keep it moving.
That's what's up. All right. Well, hey, you're up 3 at the end of a game. They have the last shot. Do you foul or let it play out?
I think I'm definitely going for the foul.
Yeah.
The more that, you know, you kind of just study the game.
I see it too many times where the people that don't foul, somebody hits a 3. I see it. It happens way too often for me not to foul.
Yeah, it happens often. And I think the psychological aspect of making those 3 shots hitting the free throws is huge. And so, you know, depending on whether you're on the road or you're away or at home can also play a factor. But if you're at home and somebody got stepped to the line, I think you're just kind of giving yourself an advantage, and that's all you can ask for, you know, in that situation like that.
All right. Okay. Leave your best player in with 2 fouls in the first half.
Ooh, this is a good one. You know, I think people are I think the tide's changing where coaches are letting their guys stay.
Yeah.
Man, that one's tough. I think a lot of it, first and foremost, depends on the character of that player.
Certainly.
You know, what kind of character does that player have? Where is his maturity at the time? Maybe what year of college basketball is he in? Is he a freshman as your best player? Is he a senior who's been through the ranks? So I think those things definitely play a factor. But at the end of the day, I mean, your best players are going to win you their basketball games. You know, so also depending on time of the year it is, I think if it came to a time where I needed to win and had upperclassmen as my best player, I think I had the trust to leave him in, and let him rock out.
For sure. All right, casual or professional on the sidelines?
I think a little bit of both.
Yeah,
I think a little bit of both. I think
we like the professional at home, but casual on the road. So you don't have to pack more like
don't have to pack suits and everything.
Yeah. No doubt. And I think this upcoming season, in case you guys know something I don't know yet, I think we'll probably see that mix of like that professional casual. So I'm very curious to see what exactly we'll be wearing for games this year. Last year was certainly casual.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
So I think to answer that question, I think we'll know here in a couple of months.
Hopefully casual. Hopefully casual.
All right. Early morning practice or evening or night practice?
I think early morning, personally. I think just because of that discipline factor that comes with, getting up at those hours and showing up to give 100%. From the flip side, a lot of studies have shown where that can be counterproductive because now you get used to your body going at that time, but games happen in the evenings.
That's a good point.
So, you kind of get wired to be practicing in the morning, but now you got to produce in the evenings when it's game days. And so that part has been really interesting, just kind of, read about a little bit. So if that stuff is a real factor, of course you want to go close to game like as possible, but I think just for disciplinary stuff, early mornings work for me.
So off season, early morning, preseason.
Oh man, no doubt. Off season for sure. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Your body will adjust.
No doubt.
It'll adjust. They're young enough that their bodies can still adjust. Once you get up in age.
I'm about to say we're the ones that like. Okay, I guess I got to start trying to go to bed later. That's haven't heard that too often.
Yeah, the thing is, these guys don't get to bed early as they used to. It seems like,
of course. I
hear you.
All right, if you were not coaching basketball, what would you be doing?
If I wasn't coaching basketball, I feel like I would be working in some sort of like retail, man. To be honest,
really,
because I love the face-to-face interaction.
Yeah.
I worked at Foot Locker when I was in high school. It's a part-time job and just absolutely enjoyed it. Just as I felt like I could sit there forever. Even though the pay didn't allow me to, but just a face-to-face interaction every day. You meet so many different people. People be coming in and out of your store. You're trying to sell a product, which can be a challenge, but a fun challenge. You're trying to meet targets. So there's kind of like a motivational aspect to it. And so I think, I think retail would be my way. I think I'd be real happy just meeting people and working towards, some targets and doing what we can as a team to accomplish them.
Yeah, for sure. And hey, sneakers too. Obviously, we're basketball people. We like sneakers a little bit. So
I know Russ. I know Russ is big. Are you also on Russ's level? Are you guys all on?
No. My sneaker game is trash. My sneaker game is trash. I'm not on Russ's level. Russ is pulling up the sneakers app like every day, trying to. Oh, I didn't get it today.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, he hit like 3 in a row or something.
It feels like every time I open up Instagram, Russ is posting a fresh pair of sneakers that just came in the mail.
Oh my gosh!
So either Tennessee State has it really good, or his luck is off the chain.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Russ is on that, and honestly, all of them are. I'm not a sneaker dude. I wear my shoes like way too much. Like if I get a nice pair of shoes, I'm like, I want to wear these all the time. So it's not worth it for me.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're probably saving a lot of money. Would you agree with that, Nathan? He probably is.
Oh, and I am saving a lot of money as well.
Yeah.
The problem is we got team shoes this past year, and they were white.
Yeah.
I keep them every single day, so all of a sudden they're brown. So
yeah,
right, exactly. I keep up with the shoes. I'm not at a point in my life where I can sit there and be diligent about trying to get my hands on some of these shoes.
I hear that.
All right, hey, we got a couple more. What do you play any golf?
I do not.
No,
I do not. The first time I went golfing was actually when I first got here.
Oh, wow.
And the first picture of me and Coach Ezzo is him trying to teach me how to swing a golf club.
He's always teaching.
Pardon?
Do you have that picture?
Yeah, I have that picture.
Can you send it to me?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. I
would love to see that
picture. The picture of me holding a golf club, and I don't mind being out on the golf course though. I think it's really fun just to have that interaction, and it always looks so beautiful. And
oh my God.
But I'm not good at it, but I'm not opposed to it either. Like if I can go, I'll go.
Yeah.
So does Coach Izzo like golf?
He does like golf.
Is he good?
He does golf, but he's not like one of those. I don't think he's one of those religious golfers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he does go to his fair share of golf outings.
He likes basketball more.
Oh man. Oh man. You know,
Dude,
but
that is
yeah,
awesome.
no, he certainly does play his fair share.
That's
man,
awesome.
Oh man. All right. Okay. Should every team make the conference tournament?
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, and the reason I say that is because I think then the top seeds get their reward by, you know, if they're supposed to, obviously you're supposed to win and move on. You know, so and I think that gives those teams at the bottom an opportunity to participate, because sometimes throughout our year we have factors like injuries, or it could be other issues that, you know, might prevent us from, you know, just whatever's supposed to happen. You know, and I think making the conference tournament eliminates all that stuff. You know, it just gives everybody a fair shot, because at the end of the day, like, as much as what we do is to win, it's also the experience for these student athletes as well. You know, and I believe everybody should at least be able to experience, you know, something they can remember in that regard.
Absolutely. That was the best part about, you know, you have an experience that I mean, Nate, I'm sure we have an experience that we shared together that we remember, and we'll stick with this for, you know.
Yeah, especially in those one bid deals, man. I mean, is shoot. I mean, only one team's going to be able to go.
Exactly.
You know, so whether the top 6 get to play in the conference tournament or the 10, you know, you might as well allow the other 4 teams to experience something as well.
Yeah.
You know, there's only one thing to move forward.
Yeah, you are right. All right. Okay. Last one. I have to ask it always: LeBron or Jordan?
I gotta go with LeBron. You know, just because that's what I've seen. That's what I've witnessed. But to me, I'm a LeBron.
I see what you did there. That's what you witnessed. I see what you did there.
You know, Jordan stuff just wasn't the same. But I think I'm a LeBron guy, but what I respect about LeBron the most is not only what he's achieved, because what he's achieved is greatness, but the amount of adversity and the constant battle to like sustain the standard. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, anything LeBron does, from waking up in the morning, brushing his teeth, to dropping 50, it gets criticized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know, it almost feels like he's always under a light.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he has been since he was 14 years old.
Yeah. Exactly. And the fact he's done it for this long now and still kind of stay at the top with people constantly trying
he ain't got as much as a parking ticket.
Man, you know what I mean? Like, that to me is where LeBron's true greatness is. The basketball stuff is great, but you know, he obviously has some God-given abilities. You know, you know, let's not go around that.
Yeah, I mean, that dude was born under a rock.
Right. But the way he's carried himself and the way he's like sustained everything that he's been able to me, like, that's a true greatness, man. Like, when I hear him speak, and when I see him, the way he is a family guy and the way he is as a leader, that to me is where LeBron's greatness is.
Yeah, I'm just excited for him to join back with Bronny on the Cavs and, you know, get the Cavs back.
Get to it back.
We've been struggling. Maybe Ben Simmons. Maybe Ben Simmons for Kevin Love and Colin Sexton is the answer.
There we go. He is definitely.
You're a Cavs fan?
Unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was good for a year.
Hey, well, I grew up in Toronto Raptors land, so it was good for that year. It was.
So my wife is from Akron, Ohio. So actually, she lived her mom still lives about 5 minutes away from LeBron's house.
Which, Nate, you and I got to drive by when we played Akron in college.
I know, and you know who told the bus driver? Brooks' dad.
That's funny.
That's super cool.
Well, Coach Manny, dude, it was a pleasure having you on, man. It was a blast. I'm glad we finally got to sit down and talk catch up and hear about your story and what you got going on. It was a blast, man. I really appreciate it. Where can people find you on social media?
Just Coach Manny D.
Yep.
You know, and but the pleasure was truly mine, guys, and I mean that, man. You know, I mean, what you guys are doing for coaches is just, it's awesome, you know, providing insight, and, you know, like I said, you guys could have turned to many other people, so I appreciate you guys having me.
Dude, thank you, man.
Seriously, thank you for coming on. you can come on again if you would like.
Please. We love to catch up with you in a few months, no doubt. And as always, actually, you can find myself on Instagram at the Asa Spades with a Z on the end. Nathan, I'm back on Twitter.
Coach Asa Spade.
Coach Asa Spade.
Hey, Asa. Okay, see, that explains it. Cause I seen that Asa Duval follow. I wasn't sure if the account was fake or not, man. So like,
no, that was me. So,
he just joined.
It got hacked a while back, and finally I was like, I guess I'm gonna do this coaching thing. I got to get back on Twitter. So
he came.
You gotta get your followers up. That's what's up.
Exactly. So you can find me on Twitter at Coach Asa Spades with a Z on the end. You can find Nathan on Twitter at Coach Nate Moran. You can find Mind of a Coach on Twitter at Mind of a Coach Pod, and you can find us on Instagram at Mind of a Coach. Manny, again, brother.
Wait, did Manny say what his Twitter handle was?
Yeah. Coach, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, man. Again, that was a blast, dude. Thank you for real.
All right. Thank you so much, Jason. Nathan, I look forward to staying in touch with you guys.